Today we're pleased to be joined by Hannah Kampmann. She is a senior pitcher for the Trine softball team. Hannah, how are you?
Good, how are you?
So from St. Paul, Minnesota, I imagine you as a kid skating out on the lakes and playing hockey. Did you play hockey when you were younger?
Yeah, I did. I grew up playing hockey. It was kind of like my dad's dream because that's what he grew up doing. But yeah, it was probably my favorite thing to do besides softball.
So a lot of top-notch softball players from around the country come from Florida or Texas or
Yeah.
California because they can play all year round. You can't play softball all year round in Minnesota very easily.
No.
So what was your program in the winter months? Did you throw inside or something?
Yeah, so I played for a Club Elite program that we played in a dome almost every other day, and I was able to pitch and work out and stuff with my team every day. So
Let's hear about your high school teams. Did you have success at the high school level?
Yes and no. I played a lot of first base my first couple years because my pitching wasn't fully developed, but I had a lot of home runs. I was able to be all-conference and all-state for hitting in the first couple years, and then I became all-state and all-region for pitching my senior year.
So what brought you to Trine University?
I got recruited to go to a camp in Las Vegas, and Coach D was there watching a hitter, and I struck her out 3 times. So
Nice.
He instead talked to me and never talked to that girl again. So yeah, it's quite funny. Talk about it a lot.
So he went there for somebody else and ended
Yep,
up identifying you.
Yeah.
So you come to Trine University as a pitcher, and now you don't hit. Do you ever hit now?
No. Freshman year, a week before we went to Kentucky and Florida, we were doing hitting drills, and I slid into second base and sprained my ankle. And so that was the end of my hitting
Coach
career.
said that's the end of the...
Yep, that was it.
Are there pitchers in the conference that do hit?
Yeah, there are a few. Not too many, but here and there.
So do you miss, I mean, obviously you were a great hitter in high school. Do you miss that part of the game?
I do, but I like being able to do more pitching when they're hitting at practice and stuff, focusing on one thing.
So you're okay with just totally committing to the pitching side.
Yeah.
You mentioned that when you were in high school you weren't totally developed as a pitcher. What was that process like of getting to a place where you could compete at the college level as a pitcher?
It was stressful. I was told by my pitching coach, who actually went to Minnesota State Mankato and was an All-American, and she told me that I would never be able to do it. And so I took her words just to continue to work harder. There were a lot of tears and a lot of hours with my dad, I'd say. My dad sat at the computer and watched videos and tried to help me become the best I could be. And I played on a team that could help me get the exposure that I wanted, and here I am.
And you make it to 2019 where you're the MIAA Pitcher of the Year, 7-0, perfect conference record. Your statistics are just shimmering. To reach 2019 and have that kind of success on into the playoffs, the number 3 team at the end of the tournament in the country, what a ride in 2019, right? That had to be fantastic.
It was amazing. I think we were a fun team and we had fun every day at practice, but I owe all my awards and my accomplishments to my teammates because they were there for me every single day, every single hit and ground ball. Whether I didn't have a strikeout or not, they were behind me to save the game as well.
What about that tournament run? You come in probably excited to be there, but maybe not knowing how far you could go.
Yeah.
And you make it all the way to the end. Sometimes that has to feel like a dream, right?
Definitely. You watch it on TV and you don't think, wow, a Division III team can't really do that. But I thought we practiced hard enough, and Coach D always told us that we can do it if we work hard enough. And every day at practice we worked on something new to try to get us to that point, and I think we competed every inning to get through it.
You weren't the pitcher during the trick play,
No.
but I watched the trick play this morning again before I came out here, and I love watching it so much. Did you also practice the trick
Yep.
play, and did you know it was about to happen?
Yeah, so we knew it was going to happen. Coach D just kind of looked at Coach Smith, and I kind of just knew it was going to happen. I came in from the bullpen, and I just stood at the end of the dugout. I don't like to stand by people during the game, and yeah, I saw it happen. The whole thing was crazy because the coach didn't know what to do either, so it was a pretty cool play to watch from the stands to not know what's going to happen.
It's one of the all-time Trine sports highlights.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty crazy.
to have it go on ESPN and become viral, pretty darn exciting. Coach Donnie Dankelson, I've met him one time, had him in for an interview, loved his energy, but when I talked to Anna Keppel and Brooke Cunningham and some of my other students who are on the team, they just can't talk enough about how motivating he is and committed. What is your perspective of Coach D, and how has your relationship with him grown over the last 4 years?
It's definitely grown. even over the past year, he was pretty hard on me last year, and I think I've grown as a person from that, and I've become definitely a better softball player because of him. He's going to be harder on the players that he knows he can be hard on, and I've grown from that because he expects so much from me, and learning to develop things and become a better athlete. Knowing how far you can push yourself is the biggest thing I've learned.
Hannah, you win the MIAA, Player of the Year. You go to Nationals, you finish Pitcher of the Year. You go to Nationals, you finish third. And then you don't get to back any of that up the next year. You don't get to have a season in 2020. Every athlete, I think, dealt with that differently. For you, not only did you not get to finish your season, but you never even really got to start it. What was that like for you and your teammates, and for you personally? How did you handle the fact that there was a year of your college career taken away?
It sucked. The beginning of that season, I was actually injured for 2 to 3 weeks, so I didn't even get to pitch very much before we went to Florida, so I didn't have the best outings in Florida. And then to come back and Coach D just looked me in the eyes and say that our season was basically over just kind of crushed me, because I had 2 best friends on the team that are no longer here anymore, and trying to do that without them was really weird because I've been with them for 4 years. And going home just without anything to try to back up what I did before, and Coach D and I always talk about there's only been one player to have a better senior year than their junior year, and I wanted to be that next player to do that and back up what I did the year before. So it was pretty terrible.
Well, now you get a chance.
Yeah.
And you're a graduate here at Trine. You're now in grad school, going toward a business degree, and you're about to start the season, and no McKenna Hartline. Looking at the stats and just what a fantastic player she was. I assume that's one of the people you were talking about. How will this team pick up for losing some talent like McKenna?
We definitely have a good sophomore, Amanda Prather, who's playing shortstop, and she just is smooth at the position, and she backs me up and she has my back 100%. And I also have my best friend, Victoria Porter, behind the plate, and she's not afraid to back me up and yell at me and scream at me to do better. And I have a lot of people around me that are rooting for me, and Coach D's always there, and Coach Harvey is definitely motivating me every day. So
that's part of college sports. People graduate and move on, and other people come and have to step up into big roles. So this is your final year playing softball for Trine. What personal and team goals do you have looking at this year in front of you? Obviously, there has been a lot of turnover since 2019. Can this team still be in the mix? Do you have the talent to be competitive again this year?
Yeah, I really think we do have the talent. It's just a matter of bringing the chemistry every day to practice and bringing the chemistry to every game, and not worry about individual stats, because in the end, not one person can win the game and not one person can win the national championship. So bringing the team chemistry to the game will be the biggest thing for sure.
She's one of the most accomplished student athletes at Trine University. Hannah Kampmann, the 2019 Pitcher of the Year in the MIAA, back for more here in 2021. Hannah, we wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.